Hello YouTube, iFixItAll here, Team iFixItAll. So I've got this timing cover off here, and I wanted to make a couple of points here about where we 50-liter people generally end up leaking or showing signs of leaking is right around these corners here. We see water build up here and here, as though the timing cover is mounted on the engine. You all know what I'm talking about, but I was poking around at this cover trying to understand what the heck I was looking at, because it looked as though, and this cover's never been off, but from the factory these holes were, I don't know, they had like muck buildup, something in there. I wasn't real sure, so I started picking at it, and I discovered it was a threaded hole. And when I flipped it over, I discovered that the threaded hole passed all the way through, right there, and also right there. Let's talk about that for a minute. So the hierarchy of parts is, the next thing that goes on is this. And notice there's a provision for this hole and this hole. Those holes are not supposed to be there. And they're supposed to be there for another application, I'm sure. But since this is a, what is the casting number on this? I believe it's, it says E5. They probably made this same casting 83 to 88, maybe, I don't know, sheesh, the whole time 96. I'm sure this timing cover changed a little bit in the mid-90s, early 90s Explorer engines, but still. This hole and this hole is made into the gasket. The next item up is going to be the metal cover that goes on the back of your water pump, which, let's even see if I get that right. Yep. Now this is where I want to get really, because now you can just, we can keep going with the water pump. Lay the water pump gasket on there. And then we can set the water pump down on it. Match everything up perfectly. Just like so. Now this is what I want us to focus on. These two holes and these two holes as I disassemble. Water pump comes off. Water pump gasket. Metal backer plate for the water pump. Notice there isn't a hole here. And suddenly there is. So I believe from the factory, the solution to redesigning an entirely different timing cover was the assembly line was instructed to take putty and put it in these holes, because that's what I was digging out. On one side, the putty was almost all missing, except for down deep, but I could see light passing through. And I could see a hint of thread, so I started digging around, and I discovered that, yeah, it is an actual threaded hole. And the same for the other side. It's an actual threaded hole. I didn't know this. Maybe some of you did. But my point is, there is no bolt to pass through this hole. Because the next thing that goes on is this metal cover here, which is going to set like so. There we go. There's no hole here or here. Now I want to get to the point I'm going to try to make here is that if there is no pressure right here and no pressure, discernible bolting pressure here, it stands to reason that water could wick around and go out that hole if it's still not factory plugged up with putty and leak on the top edge of your timing cover, or leak down through the timing cover's provisioned weep hole, which is supposed to be a visual indicator that your water pump is beginning to go bad when water leaks down this crack right here and straight down. So I want to plug that hole up more permanently, because I believe I was actually leaking a little bit of water on and out this hole and through the water jacket and out this hole out into the world. Just a little bit. So my solution to this is I took me a stud right here, just a chunk of threaded stock, the end of a bolt, and I'm gonna coat those threads with furnace cement, and I will screw that in. And screw it in flush. With the glue on it. And cap off these holes. Got 2 plugs made up here. And I could go with the factory putty, but I was able to just pick that putty out as though it was just almost like liquid plumber's tape. But I'll end up coating these 2 little plugs here with some wood stove furnace cement, gasket cement, which, yeah, right there. I'll use that. Supposed to be good to 1,000 degrees, but all I'm trying to do is just glue those plugs in place so no water wicks out and leaks out. Just a little nuance about the 50 liter timing cover that you may not have known, but these 2 holes here serve no purpose. They need to be plugged, and the putty they used from the factory is literally probably wearing out and causing you to leak, and you didn't even know it. Alright guys, you have a good one. We will, oh, one more thing. Yeah, this was the original front seal here. I popped out. It even says on the gasket itself, see if you can read it. It says FOMOCO on it. Let's see if I can clean that off a little bit. Catch a little bit of a reflection of it. Oh well, we'll see how it turns out in the video, but yeah. The original seal was green. It says FOMOCO right on the rubber. Alright guys, shall see ya. Bye.